my first audition that I had, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, my first audition, I went and I called and this band said, yeah, come down. And it was a band called My Bloody Valentine. So, and like I rocked up, I was just off the boat from America and I had like a backwards baseball cap. I was probably into Beastie Boys and The Cult or something like that. And they, you know, My Bloody Valentine were just like, they were so noisy and stuff. But that was my first audition. I didn't get the job. Thank God. I think I would have ruined that band. But yeah, it was a good start. Yeah. So then you could just, it was easy. You could just find bands, you know.
I was going to say, do you think it was easier to find and form bands then?
Oh, yes, because you had those music papers and everyone wanted to be in bands. You know?
That might be that everyone wants to be in a band.
Everyone, yeah.
You couldn't say that about now, could you?
No.
Everyone wants to be a TikToker now.
And now it's difficult. Like, now it's difficult to be in a band.
Yeah. Well, you went on to meet loads of absolute legends. So tell us about how you formed your first band and how that led to...
Yeah, so my first band was a band called Some Have Fins, and we were a four-piece, and I just found them in the Melody Maker, and I got the job singing, and back then, you know, everyone were grafters, you know, you got in the back of the van, and you just started touring around. There was obviously no computers, no MySpace or anything like that, so it was just about getting out there and playing. And we started, you know, just doing that indie thing. We released a record, and then next thing I know, we were playing Reading Festival. I'm on that Reading Festival poster the year that Nirvana were on. It's like Nirvana, Some Have Fins, and all this sort of stuff. It was just because I was on the right label.
You got on the label?
Yeah, we were on like an independent label and sort of got a small following and stuff. So. But it was grunge, you know, everything was grungy and everyone, it was just loud, it was guitars, there was no computers, there's no, you know, there's no backing tracks, there's nothing like that. It was just human beings playing and you had to get up there and it was tough, you know, also.
Reading's not as like rocky anymore, is it?
No, really? It was so rocky back then and it was so...
Is Reading the one that... The
Chapel
teenager
Row.
one.
Is it now it's like really teen.
I love Chapel Row.
Like just on GCSEs.
Yeah.
Me and Angela went to Leeds Festival last year and we were surrounded by kids that just left school. And I was like, why do I feel old here?
Yeah, it's really young. But yeah, I mean, it was so exciting back then. I hate to sound like an old person going, yeah, it was great. But
well,
I mean,
interesting to hear.
But, you know, from the late 80s and the early 90s were comparable to the 60s. Everyone knew it. They said, it's like the 60s. There was just such a scene, and everyone was so happy, and it was just incredible. I mean, the Pixies were the band that kind of really started it off. I remember seeing them early on and just going, whoa. And everyone knew it. You know, David Bowie, everyone knew that they were the best songwriters and they were untouchable. And Nirvana completely. One year when I saw Nirvana, they were quite early on the main stage. Yeah. But there was a vibe about them. And I remember they played this new song, Teen Spirit. And my friend and I turned around to my friend and I was like, they're fucking ripping off the Pixies. They're going to be huge. Because it sounded like the Pixies. And then later on, Kurt Cobain said, yeah, we ripped off the Pixies. Because it was that quiet, the quiet, loud formula that the Pixies had.
That's very noticeable in Smells Like Teen Spirit, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And that's what the Pixies were about. Quiet, loud. You know, so, it was just really exciting. And then when Nirvana took off, all the major labels, everyone was like, we need a grunge band.
Yeah.
So just within months, we got our first publishing deal on Polydor Records. I was signed by a guy called Lucian Grange, who has now just been kicked out of the head of Universal. He's like at the pinnacle of the music industry.
Oh,
He's
really?
the biggest guy you could ever imagine. And he was quite a, I don't know, I felt like he seemed like quite a nasty, evil dude.
All right.
But we took the money anyway, and, you know, but he's in a lot of trouble, that guy, apparently now. You know, he's linked to... He was funding the P. Diddy parties and stuff like that. So,
terrible.
I mean, all the people that I've been involved with, like, you know, and through that, I kind of... I just met people that were just like, they're so high up in the music industry, and now they're all in trouble, you know? It's all falling down around them.